Welcome, everybody. Is this thing on? Let's make sure this thing's on. Welcome, everybody, to another Georgia Archery podcast. I'm your host, Big John Chandler, and this is where we talk about, well, anything and everything to do with archery in the state of Georgia and Georgia archers wherever they may shoot. And, if you're listening, I have a guest host again tonight. He's coming back, jumping in and getting it going. Byron, let's see, the Arrow Guru. Tom, what's up, Byron?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I am wonderful. I am doing great. I have, had a great week and a great weekend. How about yourself, man?
Did good. We're wrapping up the end of the buying season, and so that wraps up travel for me. So I took my wife off for the weekend, so we went up to Blue Ridge and did a little eating and drinking and being merry.
That's a great thing to do on a weekend for sure. I mean, everybody should do that every once in a while, take off and enjoy life, because life is not, you can extend it. I can't buy no extra length,
No, we deal with enough serious stuff. We try to go out to dinner on a date once a month, and we try to do something once a quarter for a weekend, and then we try to take one good trip a week or a year, just meter it out and stay connected and that kind of thing. So
for sure. I mean, that's just the way it is. A lot of folks, and your kids are getting older, so, I mean, we took care of kids for a long time, but we want to make sure that you still keep your significant other, first, because they're going to be there after the kids are gone, so a lot of our friends end up divorced after the kids are out of the house, because they never kept that part of the relationship up. It was all about the kids for the longest, and they sort of grew apart from each other. So, I mean, I think it's a great thing. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
Got to keep your marriage safe. You got to keep it secure. We celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary this year in January, so we're doing something okay. We still like each other's company, so that's good news.
Well, yeah, that's a good thing. I'll be at 26 years in middle of the year this year. So trying to keep things right myself. So anyway,
doesn't happen that much anymore.
No, we live in an instant society, right? So everybody wants to instantly do everything. I mean, we courted each other, we dated and, learned to know each other and whatever. Now people just jump in, get married within a week. And, if they don't like it, they go, well, we can get a divorce. That's not how that's supposed to work. But
no, and we talk about how people do things backwards all the time. It's like they date and participate in activities that should be reserved for married people. And then they get pregnant, and then they get married and try to fall in love. Like it's sort of odd, but we had a pretty interesting. I met Miranda when she was 15, so like we've just known each other forever, since we were kids, basically. So
that's cool. And she's got to be a pretty good woman to put up with you all these years.
She's a saint. She's a saint. She's let me run around and, be the arrow guru and shoot archery and go hunting. And like, she encourages it. She says, hey, you need to do those things. That's part of what you do. And she wants. So it's pretty neat. I think if you get someone that isn't selfish and after their own interests, but you kind of put their interests first and they put yours first, you tend to work out pretty good.
Well, that's 100% accurate for sure. So I'll tell you, you said you went up and hung out in the mountains with your wife and had a great time. That's awesome. Of course, busy season, buying season is slowing down, but busy season is not here yet. So the shop is sort of slow. The guys kicking a tire every once in a while and looking it over and getting phone calls and doing this arrow, that arrow. And for outdoor season, people are, getting stuff ready because outdoor season is upon us. Indoor season's over, and 3D, hey, some guys actually need more arrows because they done lost some since 3D season started. And, people replacing things that they think, they thought that they were going to be all right with, but they wanted this, that, and other. So little things have happened that, kept customers in the store. But this weekend, so I work Saturday because I work every Saturday. But this weekend, my oldest daughter came to stay Saturday night, and then she left Sunday. And then I smoked 2 big old butts on the offset smoker. And
Sweet.
So we ate our Easter dinner Sunday with some smoked butts. And let's see, we had deviled eggs from Fresh Eggs, and we had a cobbler and apple dump that was made, baked beans. So we ate good. Got time to hang out with her because she doesn't get to come down. She's working all the time, that kind of thing. So she don't get to hang out. So it was good, just all the families just sitting around, hanging out, talking about different things, and enjoying our time together. Like you said.
Fantastic.
So that's what I did. Come today, it rained yesterday. So come today, I was like, I think I'm just going to sit here. I got a few new things that came in to hopefully help this thing go. I got a new arm for my microphone and a new cable and a couple of other little things that I have trying to just little pieces. You can make it work with what you got, but buy a piece here, buy a piece there, make it better. So that's what I've done. So, but
audio equipment, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit. So we haven't talked because the time before it was Vegas was fixing to happen. We went when last time you were on. So did you get to watch Vegas?
Yes, I was a little annoyed because it started so late, and they they had the kind of the dog and pony show at the beginning, and I kind of got disinterested, and then I picked up the shooting when it started, and I'll be honest with you, I watched it like I would a NASCAR race. I watched the beginning, and I kind of dozed off, and I woke up for the men's final. Got to see the end. So I wasn't very attentive. I seen Rio jumped up there and got his third Vegas Classic, I think.
Yep, that's in a senior class. So
in the senior class, yeah.
And he hasn't shot Vegas in the last couple of years. So he's actually not even been in Vegas for the last couple of years. And so he decided he'd step up and try it again, and he made it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, he shot a lot of 3D the last couple of years. It's been enjoyable to see him out at the ASA tournaments,
For sure, yeah, for sure. And then little Chloe Nelson in the young adult youth championship division. That was pretty cool to watch her win it all. Beat up on the boys. So that was pretty interesting. We hear a lot of times that boys pull more weight, get to hold more for outdoor. It definitely is an advantage. For 3D, it can be an advantage because you get more speed and you don't have to shoot. You can shoot a fatter arrow and still get the same speeds, that type of thing. But indoor flattens the field, right? Because it's 20 yards. It's whatever it is. So, more power to them. It was a record-breaking weekend, not for people. They didn't have the most people they'd ever had, but there were a lot of records broke. First girl to ever shoot a 30X.
Yeah, and then there was a 90X shot.
Yep, 5 girls made the shoot down that shot 900.
Awesome.
So that's the biggest they'd ever had. Paige says that she's shot the most 900s and didn't win.
Yeah.
Vegas. That because when she shot a 900, she had to go to a shoot off. Usually it was just one or two, and she didn't, get the win on the shoot off. Alexis Ruiz with her, placement of second. But she was her first 900, and so she was happy about it. She's a past champion, and she said she's finished first, second, and third in Vegas. But the 900 was one of those check marks that she wanted. So,
well, a lot of professional archers, that 900 almost is more important to them than the championship. Like that 900 means something to a lot of those pros.
Well, it does. I mean, that is not an easy task to, to do the math. It's getting easier. That or something, because every year they keep growing the amount of 900 shot. So in the men's division had 32 900 shot.
I said 30 would be in the shoot down.
Yep. So
shoot
I can
off.
tell you.
Excuse
me.
So
I can tell you that I just lost it. 10 years prior, when the Lucky Dog made it and won, I was there at the 50th version, and there were 5 guys who were shooting. 4 had shot 900 and 1 Lucky Dog. So in the 10 years,
archers are getting better. I have a philosophy on some of it.
Well, let's hear your philosophy. It doesn't hurt to talk about it at all.
I don't think it's revolutionary, and a lot of people thought this way, but it's been pretty obvious that, for the bulk of my archery career, there was one way taught to shoot professionally, and that was pure back tension, right? Surprise release, blah, 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 blah. But with some of the pros coming up and being just the punchers, I don't like to call them punchers. It's too controlled to be a puncher.
Yeah,
but they're command shooters. And I think you've seen a whole lot of people kind of realize that they can find the way that they shoot the best, and they don't have to follow this program that every coach in America was kind of like one way to do it, right?
Yeah.
And I think you've opened the door to a lot of archers that feel like they can figure out their shot. And you and I have talked about that a little bit, that you can take all the coaching and all that in the world and it helps, but it's a certain point, it's your process, and you have got to figure out what you're going to do the best, most consistently.
Most consistent, for sure. Well, it is a lot of command shooters that are standing on that, of those 32 guys. And to watch the difference. I mean, several of them are multi-time Vegas champs at that, so it's not like they couldn't, it doesn't work, because there's the proof that it can work. So it's not.
And I think as soon as someone does it,
yep,
then a lot of people do it.
Oh, for sure.
It's kind of like the girl archers. I mean, as soon as archers started hitting the 900s, girls were not told, they weren't this attitude that they weren't as good. And I've always thought, man, their scores in indoors should be the same, and then
yep.
I think Paige had a lot to do with that. She come out and was like, I can shoot with anybody. And she brought a lot of girls along with her. She had a wave of momentum. And I think once she proved that it could be done consistently, a lot of these young girls didn't have that doubt that it could be done. They just come up working towards that goal, and it just opens the floodgates,
For sure. I will say equipment has come a long way. I mean, yes, we can't get much faster, right? I mean, we can, but it's not fun to shoot. But string material, I believe that all the bows today are more efficient. I mean, I talked to some engineers that they were looking for they wanted 68%, 70% efficiency out of a bow, and thought that was about the best you'll ever get. And most of these are 85 to 95% efficient in bows today. That efficiency turns into, easier to shoot.
Yeah, we hadn't picked up much performance. I seen I forget where I read it, but it was just kind of a little blurb, and it was talking about if you took the basic specs of all the flagship hunting bows 10 years ago and you averaged them,
Yep.
the average actual axle was 32 inches, the average brace height was 6.5, and the average speed was 340. And if you did the same thing today, you would have about the same numbers. So we haven't picked up any performance numbers, but I think we've made the equipment way more shootable. I think longer risers, shorter limbs. I think that's probably the biggest movement forward in bow technology that we've had as far as just making it a better product.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, with the string material today, I mean, you remember those that we had those stretch-a-lots. You would have to put your bow in time at least once a week if you shot it on a regular basis. And I have a bow that I haven't touched in 19 months, I guess it is total. Of if I touched it, it was because I was doing something to it, not because it was out of time.
Yeah, good string nowadays, by the time you get through your tuning and sighting in process, they're where they're going to be. I mean, unless you get a dud, and that's possible with any string maker, but the equipment is just, I remember the old D75 rubber band strings we used to shoot, man,
even D50, you just stretch and stretch and stretch some more, sort of like the draw link says, it would stop at 20, but you keep pulling and you get it to 30 if you really wanted to.
Okay. Go to Metropolis and everything would be weird.
For sure. Oh, me. Oh, speaking of Vegas and I had you said, pick your favorites. There were 14 people that filled out the poll to pick their favorites. So that was pretty cool that 14 people went in there and did that. And for the number one archer, the top pick for the number one archer was Bodie Turner.
Hard to pick against him. And then when he come off with that 90X, I was like, pretty good pick.
So in the second pick for everybody, there was a tie for Bodie Turner and Kyle Douglas. So if the guys who didn't pick it in their first pick, it's 14 people, four people picked Bodie in the first column. In the second column, they were 3 people who picked them for tie. So Bodie's name, I go all the way down this list. He is in the top 4 of everybody. In other words, everybody else had picked him in at least 1 through 4.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So
and Kyle was just the hottest archer on the planet.
He's carrying a hot hand. So in third place, he was the top pick. In the third place spot. In the fourth place spot, there was not one. Mike Schlesinger was the top pick. So in the fourth place spot. In the fifth place spot, it was very random. So. And there were some people in that spot that hadn't showed up yet, like that Colton Green, which he's been that young kid has been doing his things as long as he's got his Milo's tea. He was doing good. Matthias Fullerton has been throughout the list, back and forth and different stuff, but Louis Price's name shows up in here. Nick Caper shows up in that one. In the sixth spot, right, is got Nicholas Gerard, Stefan Hansen, Matthias. They're all tied for first would be the first spot in number 6. So
gotcha.
Essentially, it's funny how that rating goes real fast. As you go down. How many rounds? Like you was talking about. So the most people picked that 10 to 15 rounds of shooting.
And they go to inside out on the third?
It was the fourth one.
Fourth end.
Inside out, no. So they don't do inside outs anymore, but they go one end of regular
X is
scoring.
the 10, right?
One regular scoring, X is the 10 for 3 rounds, and then they went to the new target, which would have been the inside out before. So
Gotcha.
But I think it's based on people as much as it was based on, when to do it. So,
Gotcha.
but the lucky dog, right? So of course, Matthias Fullerton dropped one early, right? So guys who fill this out later had already had that in mind, so they put him as the top to be the lucky dog. Probably nobody, and his name is not on this list. The lucky dog was not picked. The guy who did win from India. You can't take the boys from India out, but you definitely could do it. I will say that it says the next question was, who will be the female winner? So Ella Gibson was right up there, and Paige, so they tied for first place in the responses.
Figured Tanya would be leader in the clubhouse on that one.
No, it was Ella and Paige were the two that were on that list. So, and then I go down here at the end. It says who will win the whole thing. Well, Kyle, Maddie, and Bodie Turner were the top 3. They all had the 21.4 votes. So there was 3 votes apiece for each one of them, which is really strange because, the guy who won is not even on my list of who won it all. Bodie was on the list. Chris Perkins was on the list. Kyle Douglas was on the list, and Maddie was on the list. So, and Bodie. So that's who they pick. People pick. So, and that's
kind of silly because Schlosser's been the number 1 archer in the world for what? Nearly 3 years now?
No, it was 4.5 years before.
4.5? The guy's called Mr. Perfect for a reason. It's not a joke.
Before Maddie tied him, so they both sat at number 1 for a while. So, but how many will make the shoot off? So that's always that weird question with different responses. So we had one said 8, another one said 15. Another one said 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. 3 people said 34. And then one person said 40.
Jeez. I said 30 on the last podcast, and you kind of scared me off of it. So I ended up putting 28.
You know what scared me, and I'll be honest with you, is that the count at the 5 spot was so low. I was shocked because the guys who are preparing for Vegas, they go in there and shoot that blue face. They should easily be 120 X's, right? I mean, you would think, but I guess them 2 extra errors per round get some people.
Do you find the blue face is easier to aim at than the Vegas face? I do.
Personally, I do, and the reason being is that the big X in the middle of that thing
looks like a hole to me.
I can see it, right? As an old guy and a guy who shot a lot of blue face, the younger kids hate the blue face because they don't ever shoot the blue face. The 3-spot Vegas or the rumble face, which is nothing more than a 5-spot Vegas, they're used to yellow. U.S. Archery uses yellow, so that's what they're used to. So the blue face is like an oddball for them.
I guess being in Georgia, just when I was a young man and shooting leagues and whatever, we always shot the blue face.
Right. Yeah, it was always, and we shot 450s or, different things. And I mean, it's been the biggest state championship in the state for the longest time. But I mean, like you said, Georgia was leaning into the bow hunter, and the GBAA was the bow hunters organization to be a member of. So,
Yeah.
And so it's just.
When I was a shop rat and over there in West Georgia, I spent hours with 4 or 5 guys shooting at the blueface, and it was closest to the center, and we'd all wager a quarter a shot.
Oh, for sure.
And we would trade $5 and $10 worth of quarters all the time.
Long. That's right. Back and forth, for sure. But that's pretty cool. I haven't calculated the winner of this yet. I was just wanted to give all that information, some data that we were talking about. I hadn't even looked at it last week, so I broke it down, and I was like, well, we'll just talk about that for sure, because we were talking about Vegas and the odds. But 32 is pretty slick. That's a lot of
Stout.
That's a lot of 900s for sure. But yeah, it was looking really good on day 2. I mean, there were tons and tons of people who were, and yes, there's a fall off, but the day 2 numbers were bigger than they'd ever been before. So
yeah, it was almost impossible to look at the scoreboard on day 2 because it was like everybody had and I had 60 of them going in.
Yeah, I use it all the time, like when I'm teaching homeschool classes and try archery classes, because this is the Super Bowl of archery. Go watch the shoot down so you can sort of see. They talk about, well, I want to hit the middle. I'm like, well, do you think you can hit the middle every time? And they're like, well, that's what 900 does. 900 hits the middle every time. I said, but here's a number for you. There's 3,184 people shooting that, and there were less than 200 total that shot 900s in any class.
I've told people a lot, it is not hard to hit an X at 20 yards, but it is really hard to hit 30 of them 3 days in a row. That's really impossible.
For sure. Oh, me. Yeah,
I really look up to anybody that has the mental fortitude to play that game, because I will tell you, my ADHD, it comes apart. Like several times in my career, I've decided I was just going to see how good I could be at indoors. And I mean, you've seen me do it. 60 days in, I'm like, screw this game, man. I hate this game. I don't want to do this no more. I quit.
That's right.
Where's the 3D targets at?
Exactly. Well, that's what, Tim always talks about, type A personality versus type B personality, and who can, do that.
It almost seems like the indoor game, you have to turn your mind off, and it's all process. And then with the 3D game, the way my mind works, every single target I've ever looked at in the 3D game is different. And so each one of them is a problem to solve, and that keeps me engaged. I guess that's the reason I've always enjoyed that particular kind of archery. That's probably the reason I enjoy field so much, because it's a bit of both, right? You got a target with an X. You're shooting at aimable spots, but you're also running your sight. So you got to keep track of what you're doing. Each target is, each target has their stake rules, and you got to be on your game.
Yeah. Well, see, I think that on the West Coast, that's why trail shoots and Mark 3D is so popular, because they get the best of both worlds on that. They get the 3D, the shadows, the dew, but they got something to aim at, where you don't. I mean, yes, you do. There's rings on the target, but they're not bright orange, so you can aim at them like you can. But they, it's easy for them to throw up a trail shoot or and have 100 people just show up, just call, you could probably announce it on Friday and 100 people show up on Saturday to shoot that event. And they shoot it all over. We just don't shoot that here. We do have a safari round down in Savannah every year now, which is the same type of round, a marked, they used, I think half of the targets are 3D and the other half are paper, but it's still a marked, round and out to 100 yards or whatever it is. So Yeah, so that's the difference. It's crazy the difference between archery is archery, but West Coast versus East Coast, and what became popular. You know,
Yeah,
field
it's
is
kind of
just
strange.
dead.
I've talked to so many clubs that had the capability of running field, and I think the field has been introduced improperly a lot of times because we're dominant 3D guys, and when they hear field, they just kind of think a target like a 50-meter round. Or I don't think they quite understand what you're doing. But you can't just stick a guy out with what is it, nearly 300 scoreable shots on a weekend.
Yep.
I don't think you can do that. I know the first time I did it, I was mush by Sunday afternoon. Like I was done, man. My brain was cooked. And I tell them, like, hey, let's do half a field round and 3D targets, combined score, and introduce these guys. And let's just get them used to the format first. And, I don't know. It never really come to fruition. I still think there's legs there, though.
Well, I tell you, NFAA has changed their field tournament. So they have removed the fans and the walk-ups. So,
okay.
Yeah. Now, as well as I do that it's an international round now, essentially. 3 arrows at each target, 12 targets versus 14. They've done a lot of changing because of the fall off in participation, I believe. I really do. So they took the weirdest things, which I thought were the coolest things because I like to learn something new, right? The difference things, the things that were so far different, they took them out.
I mean, the opportunity to shoot the wrong target was there. Like you had to pay attention. That was part of the reason I thought field was a lot of fun. It's like, all right, you do still have to pay quite a bit of attention. I figured they took the fans and the walk-ups out, noting safety, but that wouldn't make any sense to me. But that would be what they would say, probably.
No, it's a participations number, and they'll figure if they cut that out, right? It's less mistakes. It's quicker. Because everybody steps up. In most places, everybody steps up 4 at a time, all shoot at the same time and approach the target. So if you had to move fan, that slowed you down. And walk-ups didn't usually have enough room for everybody to walk up. And you had to wait for the clearance of the other side versus this side to walk up to the closest part. So I just figured they'd get rid of it for that reason. I enjoy field. I wish it would go back to the big long 2 days of grinding. And every person that I ever took to a field tournament said it was the best thing they ever did. It was the most fun. They were the most exhausted. It was the most arrows. It was always the most of everything, but they would do it again, right? So,
so I don't know. I'll think of his name in a second. I apologize to him because I know him really well. But he run the club up at Kennesaw, and he said something to me that was pretty interesting, and I find it true. It's the only game you can work on your shot as you play it. Like you can work on things while you're playing that game and get better as you go. I tell people all the time, if you show up to a national level ASA event and you didn't bring it with you, you're not going to find it there.
No, it ain't laying out there on the course for sure.
No, sir. If you didn't bring it, it ain't gonna be on target 10 waiting on you.
But
But you could work through some things on that.
100%. You definitely learn your equipment more than you ever will any other time, and you learn you as your shot process better than anything it is. And like you said, working on it, let's say you screwed up and you misset your sight. Well, you're done on that target for ASA. Just reach up there and click it and shoot the 3 more arrows into the right spot, So, and then you learned from that. So it happens.
And you learned a lot about
and supposed to shot
how
the
you
right
performed.
target.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on.
Well, shoot the left
you learned a
target
lot
versus
about
the right target.
Yeah, and you learn a lot about what you do when you're tired, when you're fatigued.
For sure.
Like mental game, physical game, both. Like you can analyze yourself quite a bit there. I'm telling you, the first time I shot it, about halfway through Sunday morning, I was surprised I was hitting the bales. I was worn out.
It was straight. It was straight habit now.
And it was hot.
Oh yeah. You have to rely on it. It's always been my favorite game. It really has.
It's fun. It's kind of one of those things. I found fields pretty late, and I'd wished that I'd found it when I was around 25. I felt like that would have made me a better overall archer from the get-go.
100%, no doubt about it. But so let's talk about who shot this past weekend. This past weekend, the girls with bows had their shoot. I posted a little thing that said, "Boys, don't be scared of the girls." Yes, girls with bows are hosting this event, but anybody can come. They ended up with about 30 shooters out there for the weekend, so that was pretty cool.
Kudos to Alicia.
She is trying her best.
We're just keeping on.
Yep.
No loss of momentum, no loss of steam. She just keeps that train rocking, trying to get girls out on that archery range.
For sure. She's done well. They're doing it, and what she's doing now is this money, any little bit of money that she actually makes on this, will actually go to purchase a piece of property or lease a piece of property, not purchase, lease it for hunting for females.
Amazing.
So that new females can have, she does the Artemis thing, and they had to turn away girls because they didn't have enough spaces. So they're figuring if they had this space, because it's a one-time hunt they do every year, and they just don't have but a certain amount. Well, she figured if you get this space, they can run 3 or 4 times the girls through there, one time a weekend to get, more females hunting, and that's the cool part about it. It's really cool. So you can find all that information on the Girls with Bows. Find Alicia and even Gretchen. She's digging in there too, helping out and doing her thing. So there was a ASA qualifier this weekend up at Rock Branch. They ended up with 48 shooters. That was a last minute ad. I will just, Rocky Branch had started late with his dates and stuff. So it was a last minute qualifier ad. So that was pretty cool that he got 48, to come out and shoot it. Darn, I had this and I didn't type it on my show notes. And you got the show notes, but I didn't type it. Hold on. It's one of those things. Hold on, let me find it. All right.
How dare you be human, John?
46. That's what it is. The NGTA, the North Georgia Traditional Archers, has their shoot first Saturday of every month in Gainesville, and they had 46 shooters Saturday morning. So that was pretty cool. Them stick and stringers, them guys are just awesome. So kudos to them for doing their thing. Georgia Southern hosted the Light 'em Up 900 round. You remember those 900 rounds? We talked about it last time. We used to go out there and shoot them 900 rounds. Well, they hosted one down there and had a good crowd. I didn't see the exact numbers. I saw some pictures. It looked like they had a whole lot of fun down there at Southern. And people don't understand. It's not as easy to hit that big 122 target every time. It's a whole lot of yellow to aim at. It's not aiming.
You can
small,
float.
Small. There's no doubt about it. It floats. Also on Saturday, S3DA had their first 3D Hepzibah straight shooters. Hosted it down there at the Big Creek facility in Louisville, and it was the East region. They had 48 shooters sign up for that event, so that was pretty cool. That was the kickoff of S3DA 3D sections. So they'll have another one coming, then another one, and we'll go to state. So I enjoy watching all those kids shoot bows. It's just fun to see that group grow up, from the youngest ones that to the oldest ones that are fixing to go and do bigger and better things. It's fun to watch. So, and then Sunday, well, it was Easter, so
Yeah, nothing going. Everything closed.
Well, for sure. I mean, people, did their Easter church and Easter family, and a time to reflect on the holiday and what's it about, and that type of thing. So yeah, I don't know of anybody who's had one on Easter Sunday.
No, no.
I don't think. I do remember one year that Robert Hilsman's had his Easter shoot on Saturday, which is a 3D shoot, and every 3D target had eggs hanging on it.
Oh, that's funny.
And so you could shoot your target, or you could shoot an egg at your target. In other words, shoot one of the eggs that was hanging on the target, and you could get the prize that was in it. So, and he had some decent prizes for some of the eggs, but the 3D guy would be like, I got to have my 12. I don't care nothing about them eggs, and then there was a $500 prize out, and nobody got that. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I've been shooting at eggs.
Yeah.
I like to have fun.
Yeah. So, it's pretty cool. So, yeah. So that was, just, things that we've done in the past that were pretty cool, but yeah. Let's see. Let's see here. Midway through, I always like to talk about it. You can find us anywhere and everywhere. You can find this podcast on YouTube videos. You can see our pretty faces. We both have voices for radio, or face for radio, but we're smiling just the same. You can always find this on your favorite podcast app and listen to it as you're riding down the road, going, doing whatever, traveling, and check us out and do it. You can find us on all the social medias. We're everywhere and anywhere there is social media. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I do have raffle tickets. They are live. It's ready. It's up. And go to the webpage, www.georgiaarchery.com. Chance to win a custom set of gas bowstrings that is mossy oak. It's a perfect color. It's a collaboration they did with Toxia, and it matches Bottomlands like nobody's business. So if you want a chance to win that, they're $20 a piece. Put in. We're going to give that out soon. Just trying to get more people to buy the raffle tickets. The money that's raised off the raffle tickets is going to help buy things like the arm, the pay for the freaking internet to get this, and the data to push it out, to get it to record it and doing, because all of this isn't free. But you can find all of the dates that we talk about on the webpage. Like I said, that's www.georgiaarchery.com. And there's a calendar. You can click it and check out all of them and get more information on each of the shoots that we do talk about. So yeah, that's that. I always have to. You gotta pimp your product every once in a while, right?
Heck yeah, man. Look, if you shoot a bow, find one of these shoots close to you. Go support your club, man. Go hang out and meet some people and support your club. It's important.
Oh, it is. I mean that, and support all the local archery shops. Just go in and
100%.
It's easy to click a online button and buy something, but how many times there's a lot of stuff for sale that people clicked an online button and bought it, and then like, that's not what I wanted. If you go find someone that's got it, touch it and feel it, and you can touch and feel at the range too. A lot of guys have a bow that you've been looking at, and you can talk to them and ask them what they think about that bow or that arrow or that sight or that release that they're using, for sure. So,
well, and there's not as many true deals out there anymore. The manufacturer's done a good job protecting their dealers, trying to keep the pricing integrity. So, man, support your local shop, go shoot a local club. Got to do it.
Yep. Hey, did you see all the funny April Fools things that were posted on April 1st through the social media?
I did not. I was otherwise occupied.
Oh, there were some funnies for sure. There always are. I went to look for them. I think the Trophy Ridge did a whisker biscuit that's got rollers to speed your arrow.
I saw that. I did see that.
There were some, Easton did some kind of quantum something arrow. Iron Will had a AI arrow broadhead that would automatically AI find your thing, and it was fun to watch. Just I always get a kick out of them. So and then Brady Ellison decided he was going to retire. So
his fingers just won't take it anymore.
No, yep. He was ready. He was done. So he was going to retire, and that was April Fool's as usual. But it's always fun to watch that kind of stuff, So
it's neat to see when somebody comes up with something actually kind of unique.
Yeah, something that I remember, like G5 did their 3.5-inch cut fixed blade broadhead. I thought that was pretty neat. And there are people who would buy that thing if they made it. There's no doubt about it.
100%.
Yeah. So
I recall actual broadhead that was expandable. It was like a 3-inch or a 3.5-inch. It was called the axe broadhead. Do you remember that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was open after penetration. So if you didn't get an exit, you didn't get much of an entry. It was iffy. I went out and shot a deer with one because I shot a deer with every broadhead I carried in the shop at that time. And
yeah,
like I had about 580 grains behind that joker with a 70-pound bow, and I shot a buck. And it did not go through. and fortunately, he didn't go very far, and I watched him fall. And but there would have been zero blood if I had not watched him fall. I was like, all right, experiment over.
Done with that. Next. I understand.
And that wasn't April Fool's, man. They were trying to sell them things.
They were trying to sell those for sure. Yeah, there's been a lot of things that have come in and out that's like, you look at it, and some things are the strangest things in the world, like, and then other things like, who would ever thought that your number one accessory today would be limb legs, or legs for your bow to prop up on the floor? Who would have thought?
Yeah, and in the South, like, we don't. It's weird to me.
But
I've seen a bunch of them sell though. So
that's what I mean. It's crazy. And then everybody's making one now, of some sort.
Yeah.
So
yep, everybody.
Yep. So that's pretty neat, pretty interesting that you would not think that would go, but it did. And other things, you're like, man, if they just did this, and it would be so much better. So, and then with knowledge. We have too much knowledge. Let's just be honest. There's too much knowledge on the internet today. Some of it can be trusted, some of it not so much, but there's just too much access to too much knowledge. But with all of the tunabilities of bows today, people can be a bow technician with the help of YouTube, and without a bow press today, with so many things that, boy, did we do some things that we shouldn't have when we didn't have a bow press to make a bow work. I mean, draw it halfway back. Hold on, let me fix this. Let me put that. We did a lot of things that are a little sketchy now to make work.
I remember cam and halves. I'd draw them about quarter of the way and have somebody stick a screwdriver in the cam. Set it down on the limbs.
Ease it back down on the limbs.
Put a twist in your string.
100%.
It was it was probably not advised.
No, but we did it. And, but with the way things, with all the different technologies added, like you said, the speeds haven't changed, the performance hasn't changed. So we had to do something. So, easy tune. I mean, how many plastic shims have you lost, and how many E-clips have you slung across the, range over the many years of working on bows, right?
Yeah, we haven't had E-clips on our bows in years, and I still find them in the floor. From when I lost them way before. I've lost so many.
Yeah, that's right.
Those things launch and disappear.
That's right. And so the funny thing is, today you don't have E-clips because most people have some kind of limb-driven system, cam driven system, something that it's all connected into one. That's right. The axles that are keyed in. So, but it's crazy. But they just we tell everybody you don't know how lucky you got it till you got it.
Well, it also has made some people have unearned confidence.
For sure. I don't know very many people who've drawn back a bow and blowed it up as many times as archery shops have, and not doing the wrong thing, but just doing something, it's crazy.
Probably shouldn't even say this. I had a dealer call me, and he blew up 2 bows. And I mean, come to find out, he was still using one of those old spring-loaded poundage scales. He didn't have a draw board. He didn't have a digital scale. And, he would break it all the way over. Yep. And then start to let it go. And he was just destroying bows, man. We were like, what are you doing, man? After like the 3rd one, we were like, what's going on? We need to ask some questions because this isn't normal.
This is not normal. Yep. Yeah, those old pull springs, if you rolled it, and the cams today are so thinned out and so done, they're the crash piece of the puzzle for sure. Most all archery companies make their cams the crash part, the collapse part, so they don't have to pay for it because limbs aren't cheap to make, period.
No.
Don't get me wrong, cams ain't cheap to make either, but limbs are definitely more labor intensive than a CNC, program on a CNC machine,
And there's just way less SKUs. I mean, your cams are your cams. You can have 50-pound limbs, 40-pound limbs, camo, blah 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 blah, and it's just way less expensive to replace those cams. And a lot of guys don't really know that. There's crumple zones on them. Did you dry fire it? No, I didn't dry fire it. And the bow kind of tells you what happened.
Yeah. For sure. But that's what, it's crazy. So do you know who's shooting this weekend?
Looks like Gainesville shooting.
Yep. So this weekend.
Up towards me.
Yep. So this weekend, there's the GAA target. And the reason I say target, not field, because they're standing in the middle of a field shooting a target. And that's called target, not field. Please get that right? That's what people think when you say field. They're thinking you're standing in a field, so their assumption is that's field. No, that's not field. Field is through the woods at targets. But target archery is the state outdoor championships, which will be held over here in Conyers. And it's a 2-day event. It's a 1440. This will be the earliest. Wow. This will be the earliest event that this event has ever happened. So you'll shoot for regular adults, you'll shoot 90 meters, 70 meters, 50 meters, and 30 meters. The 2 longest will be at a 122, and the 2 smaller, shorter will be at the smaller 80 centimeter single face. So. Us old guys get a little closer. We start at 70. We don't have to go to 90. So, and then the kids get different distances. But you'll shoot You'll shoot your 2 longest on the first day and your 2 shorter on the second day. So it's a 1440. It used to be called a feed round.
Right.
And this round was normally in the last, I can't tell you, 10 years at least, probably, or if not more, was always held opening day in September. It was always opening bow season, or deer season. That's usually when this has been held, because they tried to push it past the hot. I was like, y'all are ridiculous. It's still hot September. But so they have moved it into the early part, hoping that maybe that won't be as hot. If it was like today, it was a beautiful day. I mean,
it was a little windy, but it was a pretty day.
Pretty day. So also RBO has their regular 3D shoot. They shoot 2 days, so it's Saturday and Sunday. And then on Saturday, like you said, Gainesville Archery Club is having an ASA qualifier up there. That is where state championship will be held. So if you haven't been up there to check out what Gainesville looks like, you might want to go up there and get you a practice round in, because they are practicing on some of the lanes. Not saying that that'll be a lane that you'll shoot for sure, but they are all of their lanes for this year, and all their shoots will actually be a lane of one of the targets from the state championship, because they'll have to shoot, multi lanes for that. Also on Saturday, Rocky Creek Archery Club is on the docket to have a 3D shoot. And S3DA will have up in Carnesville, will have their second regional. That's the North Region's qualifier. BAM Archery is hosting that event up in Carnesville. So if you haven't registered, you need to register. You can register for the GAA state target. I think is still open till Wednesday. Sometimes it closes early, but you can still go in there and get to it, or find out who to call if it is closed. You can get it at the Sport 80 on U.S. Archery's webpage. And then the S3DA, if you want to register for that event, it'll be opened a little later. Usually they're trying to get as many people in as they can. You can find it on the Sport 80 S3DA Sport 80 page for it.
Where's Rocky Creek Archery, John?
South. You had to ask me. I could told you during.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. No, it's just I wish I knew everybody's. Man, my phone just pick it up.
Dexter, Georgia.
That's it, Dexter. That's what it was. See, you got there faster than I did. So
I'm quick at finding location.
Yep, it's in Dexter. So, doing their thing down there. And then on Sunday, S3DA on Saturday, qualifier for Gainesville on Saturday, and then on Sunday, another qualifier for Ace Archery, and it's their first 3D shoot of the year. So we haven't hosted a shoot. This will be our first one, and it's also an ASA qualifier. So it'll be out at the Clybell shooting range. There'll be signs. I've gotten several messages, because there's two different addresses. Because some people go, it's Clybell. No, it's Charlie Elliott. No, it's Clybell. No, it's Charlie Elliott. Well, okay, yeah. Charlie Elliott is one little section in the Clybell WMA. And signs will be up, but where they shoot the guns and the shotguns and where the 3D range is where this will be. You will use their practice bells like they've got out to 40 to warm up on, and then we will have targets out on same place that the girls with bows had their shoot. We'll have different targets, but we'll set the range up and have it out and ready to shoot. So please go and support us and get some more ASA points.
Yeah, if you look up the Clybell shooting range, it's the same address. They're just across the road from one another.
Pretty much, yep. Same address across the road from each other. That's right. But yeah,
and if you're like me and didn't know where Dexter was, that's just a little southwest of Dublin, right across the interstate.
Yep, just below. Yep. I couldn't remember what town it was in. I wanted to say it was past Dublin, but I didn't know I didn't know that Dexter. I didn't have that in my.
I've spent a lot of time in Dublin.
Yep.
Hunting turkeys.
Speaking of turkeys, have you got some turkeys to hunt? You gonna try to get some?
I don't really have any near me. I've got some. I got a dealer up in South Carolina that's just begging me to come shoot one of his turkeys. And then I've got some friends in South Georgia I hunt with. And I generally spend most of turkey season, as much as I can, at least in Florida. I've killed more Osceolas recently in the last few years than I have Easterns, just because I got places to hunt down there. So I'm planning a trip down there. I've got a dealer to go see. Daytona Archers is having a really big tournament every year leading into hunting season. They're starting to get that thing bigger and bigger. I think this past year they had 400 archers and giving away a bunch of prizes, and we donated some stuff to them. So I got to go down there and meet with some of the guys from Daytona Archers, see a dealer, and while I'm there, I'll be turkey hunting right outside of Orlando a couple of days. So I got a plan before the end of the month to do that.
Find one of them turkey birds. So, yeah. And there's lots of things coming up. Like you said, you can check it out on the webpage. It's easy to find the calendar to schedule when you're off, when you're not off, and try to get, what's going on a weekend that you can do your thing. Because it's always something going on. May will be here. I mean, we just started April, but May will be here in a minute. People were getting ready for Minden at the end of the month, and then TAC has happened in multiple places already, and still going to happen. That first weekend in that weekend is actually a TAC in Oklahoma, I think. The same weekend as Minden, if I ain't mistaken. It's crazy.
Speaking of TAC, we should congratulate a fellow Georgian, Billy White, is now the media specialist for TAC Archery.
Specialist for TAC Archery. Yep, he's
and anybody deserves it. Billy does. He's a great guy.
And media is his thing. In other words, he likes to talk to people. So
he's good, man. He's good at what he does. He's a good photographer. He knows how to tell stories, and he loves archery.
Yeah, I like old Billy. Billy's a good guy. So, if you get to attack, try to find Billy and
pat him on the back, man.
Yep, tell him he's doing a great job. Keep doing what they doing, because man, that thing's moving like it's nobody else's. So
we've needed something like that, and thank goodness they've done it, because it's really been successful. I'm very proud of those guys.
For sure. Yeah, doing a good job. But yeah, what else you got to talk about today? Let's see. There's a countdown in my shops. I forgot what the date, how many days. It was probably 150 days till deer season's back.
Till deer season.
The summer's coming in as fast as we can get it. If you hadn't registered for TAC, you're probably not going to get in.
I got to get out and shoot one as a participant. I've been there as a vendor, but I get out there and shoot one. It's so much fun. I could spend a day on the practice range.
Oh, for sure, because you got friggin' all kinds of targets to shoot at all different distances.
You got everything on the practice range.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, TAC is definitely something. ASA, I did the first two. And I was contacted today and also the other day and asked, we're going to talk you into going to Kentucky. So they got some talking to do, but if I do go, that might be the next one I make.
Minden's my favorite.
You like it because of the food. You don't like it.
I like to go eat in Louisiana. Yes, sir. That is true. I actually like Kentucky. I've had a couple of rough goes of it, but I've also shot really well in Kentucky.
Well, Kentucky's one of those that if you ain't got, like you said, if you ain't got it together, you ain't ready to go. I mean, if
you're not dialed on hills, right, Kentucky's going to kick your face in, and the lighting is just never good.
Never right. Yep, 100%. So
it's just never good. So, boy, that Brian sent me. I'm going to pimp Brian custom lenses a little bit. Just for Kentucky. It is a rose lens, and he swears that this will take a lot of glare. So if I get back to Kentucky, I'll be using Brian's new rose lens. So check him out.
Rose lens. I hear you. Well, yeah. So I mean, but this will be the first time that we're back since the tornado that tore everything through the place last year.
Yeah.
You know, go and support that local economy because it needs it, you know, because they were devastated, pushed, you know, it knocked a lot of stuff down right through there. So, yeah, if you can get there, get there. If you can't, I'm not going to sit right here and say I'm going, but I did, you know, I have thought about it because I have enjoyed myself for the first two, and I knew I couldn't make Minden, and so that gives me about a month to think on it and try to get it and see if that's what I want to do. So, but yeah, you need to get your bow out and come shoot 3D with me one time, at least locally.
Yeah, I really, really need to. It's been super busy. And it's my archery suffering. And I'm pretty tired of it at this point.
Well, you know, I when I turned 50, I had decided that I was going to take more time to shoot a bow than I had in years past because I've been, you know, pretty much coaching and working shop, that type of thing. And that was first priority, which it didn't change priority. I just dropped my priority down to seventh or eighth, and I just moved my priority back up. And so last year I did a couple.
You're making time for it.
Exactly. And this one, I'm not making excuses. I'm making time. That's right. So, you know, there for the longest time, it was always an excuse. And it was easy to say, don't do this, but I ain't doing it no more. So, but yeah.
Well, I'm just about in the same boat with you, John. I've been putting a lot of thought in it lately, and I said, you know, I got in this industry because I loved it so much. And so it's about time for me to participate a little bit more of you know.
I hear you.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me again tonight. We'll do it again for sure.
Yeah, 100%. We'll have something else to talk about, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Well, you know, we'll go through the thing, and as we get closer, we can talk about equipment and, you know, what does what for hunting, why, you know, because we can play the heavy arrow game that you play versus the light game that other people play, and we can play back and forth on why and why not, right? Those are things that people like to talk about. So,
sure.
And here. So that's what we'll definitely do some of that. But look, take someone, teach them how to shoot a bow. It will last them a lifetime. Until next time, I'm Big John. Who's that?
I'm Byron.
We'll see you.